And we're gonna go live in five, four. Jamie, are we rolling? Welcome to Woke Wars, everybody.
What's up, guys? Go ahead.
Oh, there's no audience. There's no audience noises. We're gonna cue that for next time. But yeah, welcome to Woke Wars, our first starting 2023, and we are here today with a very special moment. The moment where we have our very special guest.
Not just special, but the very first guest in our show. So
Exactly. That's exactly what I meant, actually. But both can coexist.
exactly.
anyway.
So I would like to give a very warm welcome to our good friend, very talented Gabriel Sousa. Before we get into any subjects here,
Yes.
we gotta tell the audience here who our guest is.
Yes, we got a great show for you tonight.
We gotta give you a proper introduction, my friend.
Yes. Would you like to
Who
introduce
is-
yourself? Would you like to do the honors, Arthur?
Well, I can say that Gabe is a really good friend of ours. We go back a few years, right?
Yeah.
At least.
And funny story is the first time I met Gabe was in a voiceover studio, right? We were both doing the same project.
That's right.
And I recognized him from a commercial.
You recognize him from the commercial? That's
it-
amazing.
It was a
This is good,
series
this
of
is good.
commercials that were done for a famous English school in Brazil, CCAA, right?
Yes, CCAA.
Wait, it was called CCAA,
Yeah.
and they just went above and beyond with those commercials. I never seen anything like that in Brazil, in
Okay.
Brazilian television. They did a series of commercials with very, very famous Hollywood stars.
Wait, that was for a school?
Yeah.
for an English school.
That's hilarious. I know what you're talking about because you've shown me these
Yes,
videos, and I was like,
yeah.
oh my god, this is amazing.
And it was just so
This is-
funny. Those commercials were really, really well made. It was like a Hollywood production.
Oh yeah, they're big budget
So-
and great A-list stars. It's
A-list
really
stars, like-
fantastic. I remember being a kid and seeing the one that had Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. And it's like it starts like an action movie. He's like, kind
Yeah.
of doing the Terminator thing. And then at the very end of it, after he like saves the kid, because the whole idea was, the kid was able to get saved because he could speak English. And that's what they kind of try to
Oh.
comedically push at you.
Yeah.
Is like, you better learn English. You never
Subliminal
know.
message.
But the best part about that one in the like late 90s was Arnold Schwarzenegger would turn to the camera and he would say their slogan in Portuguese. So he would turn and be like, "É assim que se fala."
Oh yeah, I
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that means, and that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Like that's how you talk, or
When
something
when
like
we
that.
did the campaign,
That's
which
how we
had,
do it.
yeah, when we did the campaign, which had Bruce Willis and Megan Fox and Samuel L. Jackson,
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson,
Yeah.
of course, not to be forgotten. The slogan had changed, and that's what they were kind of reintroducing, right? I think it's
Yeah.
like it's of course this massive marketing campaign, and there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of creativity. The script and the story for the first one really got me, the
Yeah.
one with Bruce Willis, because they did such a brilliant kind of
Wordplay.
yeah, wordplay exactly with the
yeah.
word parachute, which was
Yeah.
so brilliant. But it was like ou você se garante ou a língua derruba você.
Yes.
like,
yes.
You either guarantee yourself or
You-
language can, be your demise.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you either have the confidence and the knowledge to speak English,
Yes.
or you're screwed,
Yeah.
basically. And the scene depicts that really, really well, because it's basically Bruce Willis. It's like you and a friend, right?
Yes, yeah, Luis Felipe.
Yeah, you're like
Who?
inside of a
That's my name.
you're inside of a plane that is crashing and falling, and Bruce Willis is fighting off all these bad guys, and you two are like,
Oh.
what the hell are you doing there
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the first place?
Weren't you like stargaze? Like, oh my
completely
gosh,
out of
Bruce
place.
Willis is amazing. Isn't
then-
that part of the
Yes,
gag?
it is part of the
he-
gag. Like
and
he's actually Bruce Willis, so it's like it's got this meta thing where it's like we feel like we're in a Bruce Willis movie,
yeah.
but we're talking to each other in Portuguese and we don't know how to say anything. And all of a sudden, in between him wrestling with the bad guy, he manages to wrangle the key out to our handcuffs because we're handcuffed to this cargo plane, tosses it over. It took me like 17 takes to be able to step on the key.
Uh-huh.
I still have that key, by
You
the
still
way.
have
Oh
it?
Yeah,
shit!
I keep it
That's
with
a
me.
great
It's a good
prop.
luck charm.
Yeah.
But I remember, just like sweating and then feeling the pressure of like, okay, gotta get it. So he throws the key over. We kind of get free, and then all of a sudden we're like, how are we gonna get out of here? We gotta talk to him.
Yeah.
And so, Bruce knocks the guy out, and I go over to him, and I'm like, in Portuguese, but trying to speak English poorly. And I'm like, how are we gonna, get out of the aeroplano? It's like, this kind this
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And so, Bruce says,
The
the
avian.
parachute, there's a parachute right there.
Right.
And the idea is, the word parachute in Portuguese, it sounds like a combination of to kick,
Right.
parachute. And
Right.
so he's like,
Yeah.
parachute, parachute. So I look over and I'm like, I think we're supposed to kick that thing. And then I go to confirm with Bruce, like, to kick that? And he goes, yeah, yeah, go, go, go. I get it. We got to kick the parachute in the goal. The goal being the open
The
door of the
open
cargo
door to
plane.
cargo.
So I tell my buddy Luis Felipe, that's it. You got to kick it in the goal. So he
Yeah.
kicks the last remaining parachute out of the plane, looks at me like we did it, right?
Yeah.
I look at him like we got it. I look back at Bruce like, that was it, right? Bruce looks at us, puts on his parachute, kind of walks by, and we're like, wait, that's, did he? And then he,
And he basically just goes
parachutes
like
out and
this.
leaves us there.
He goes like this.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Good
jumps off
luck.
the
It's
plane.
it's a great, great look. And
So,
yeah, it was amazing.
because I just knew about the Bruce Willis one because maybe that's the only one you're actually in,
No,
or
no,
is it like
I'm
a
in.
series?
Yeah, I'm in. They ended up
Yeah.
making it a trilogy. We didn't know this at first, but they ended up making it a trilogy of commercials that we shot once a year, and it would generally debut in the beginning of the year, like around when Big Brother Brazil was coming out, just because
Okay.
that was a huge spot that they would get to kind of debut these commercials because they were a really big deal there. I
Yeah.
remember for the one with Samuel L. Jackson. They did these promo photos of like me getting eaten by this shark,
The shark.
and I
Yeah.
remember not even knowing that this was part of it, but I remember on set when we took photos they're like, yeah, like, pretend like you're in the mouth of the shark. I'm like, okay. We do the photos. And then I went and I visited Brazil, and all of a sudden, a bus drives by with me like inside the mouth of a giant Jaws like shark,
Yeah.
and Samuel Jackson's over there like CCAA.
Yeah.
So my follow-up question is like, how does anyone go out and books all the A-listers for a freaking publicity stunt type of thing?
One thing
Is
There's
that
a
I've
lot of
learned,
money involved.
yeah, one
Yeah.
thing
But
that
it's
I've
just
learned
like,
since
yeah.
is a lot of times A-list stars who are big in Hollywood here, they're willing to do international commercials if the commercials are not going to get seen in the US. They're a little more precious with their
Okay.
image,
In
sort of
like
in,
the
yeah.
publicist will say
Ye-
nothing national,
Yes.
nothing
So
domestic, as
yeah,
they say.
I think there's like a sort of a game you play as far as like you don't want your image to get too saturated or too associated with like a certain commercialization because it can, cheapen it in a way. But sometimes it can get done brilliantly. For example, there's this new commercial out right now with Timothy Chalamet,
Mm,
and it's for Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
okay.
And so basically, and it's a very meta commercial as well, where it's like he's himself, and he's kind of enjoying this amazing lifestyle, going to these luxury hotels, and he's talking to a bunch of friends. And so he's talking to Jason Momoa, and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And Jason Momoa's like, "Oh, just finished this great Apple series that I've been shooting." He's like, "Really?" And Jason Momoa's like, "Yeah, everybody's got one now." And Timothy Chalamet's like, "Oh yeah, 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 everybody's got one." And then he talks to like a bunch of other friends who are all rapping or
Uh-huh.
doing the press for their
Yeah.
Apple TV Plus shows, and he doesn't have one. So he gets more and more, upset about it and
Yeah.
feels left out. So
Right.
I think that was a brilliant use of his image, of his stature, right? Because there's, Arthur, we're seeing this a lot. There's not really such thing as movie stars anymore. It's like everybody does,
Yeah.
TV series,
Oh yes,
streaming
yes, yes.
series. There's not really, I think, like a box office draw like there used to be in the 90s
Brad
when we were growing
Pitt's.
up with Brad Pitt and Tom. Well, Tom Cruise is still around
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
amazing things. He's incredible. He's probably the
I
the
think
last
I
great
saw
movie
an
star.
article.
I
I
thought
think I
I
saw
thought
an
the last
article.
action hero was
That's a great one.
Arnie, but
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a good movie. Yeah.
Love that
I
one.
think I saw an article saying why was either Leo DiCaprio or Brad Pitt why they're the last remaining movie star.
because they
Uh,
I
haven't
think
done
it's Leo
any.
probably
Leo
because
for sure.
because
Leo for sure.
he's the
Leo
youngest.
picks roles like no other actor. I often say, to other actors when we're talking about these kinds of things, it's almost impossible to compare talent. That's I think is wasteful because everybody brings something so unique.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And when you talk about
and that's why
creativity,
Ronaldo is the best. Just
and
kidding.
when you talk about creativity, it's hard to quantify it. One thing that I've often said is if the Oscars were to be a really fair race, you would need 5 great actors to play the same role, and
Yep.
then we could compare how they played the
That's
role.
true.
Of
That's
course, that's
true.
not going to
Just
happen.
make acting competitive.
Right. If you wanted to try to make it, like the 100-meter dash in any way, they'd have to play the same role. But we're sitting here, I think how good the movie is, how well
We
the
would have to
direction
we would
is.
have to actually rotate the actors, have them all play the same role,
Yeah.
and see who plays it better.
It's super easy.
That
Just come
would
up
be
with
the only way to make it
Because the
somewhat
role
fair.
might actually favor someone's
Sensibilities and yeah.
exactly. So it's
But
really
I
hard
think I think
to be
Leo.
completely fair.
Yeah, I think Leo, if you're talking about, if you're trying to make a conversation about the greatest actors, what I really, really admire about Leonardo DiCaprio is the role choices and the directors that he's chosen to work with. It's like you look at his, resume, and it's just a collection of the best directors that are out there,
Yeah.
to Catch Me If You Can with Spielberg, all the collaborations with Martin Scorsese, Django Unchained with Tarantino,
Tarantino, yeah.
and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood now, which I loved him in that role.
Me too.
He's got what Body of Lies with Michael Mann. He's got it's just The Revenant, which
Yep.
got him his Oscar
Yep.
with Alejandro Iñárritu. So it's like, that's I
You
think
met
the
the
real
guy, right?
privilege. Yes, in
In Sundance?
Telluride. Yeah,
Oh,
at
Telluride,
the
yeah.
Telluride Film Festival. I was just walking around. It's such a magnificent place, and all of a sudden, Alejandro Iñárritu is just there on his phone, like on the street. I'm like, is this? And then he hangs up. I'm like,
That was pretty cool. I remember when you posted that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, that was
oh
awesome.
yeah.
It's interesting too because in particularly during the festival, Telluride is this small beautiful mountain town, and it's very unassuming. Sundance Film Festival, it's a little bit more of like a parade. It feels like everyone's there and everyone's somebody. But Telluride, it's like you don't know if this is just a person enjoying their beautiful mountain retreat or if it's like
They're
a
part of the
celebrity.
festival,
Right.
yeah.
So what I noticed that day was I said hello to Iñárritu, and after I asked him for a picture with my dad, um, I walk away, and a group of like people started,
Tourists. Oh, somebody
surrounded him,
like they're sniffing around.
and
Oh,
I felt
I smell
bad.
blood in the water. There's a famous guy over
Exactly,
there.
and
Everybody
I
just
felt bad.
rushes.
I was like, oh, I literally as I was walking around, I was like, sorry for that.
I just broke your cover.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for watching until the end. This has been Woke Wars, and I hope you liked our conversation. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Tell us what you'd like to hear us talk about next. Also, check out some of our other episodes. We post every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We will see you on the next one.